Okay, so let's have a look at the third adjustment for Melba Ltd 2015. So it says the suspense figure arises as a result of the incorrect figure for debenture interest. So it's telling us that debenture interest is wrong. So we will see that we've got debenture interest. We paid debenture interest for the first 6 months. So 16,600 is wrong. So we need to find out how much that should be and make adjustments on it. Although the entry had been made in the bank account and discount allowed 400 entered only in the discount account. So discount allowed, we're reducing the amount of money that were owed from debtors. So we need to reduce our debtors then by 400 as well. So when we're doing this adjustment, 4 steps. We're going to calculate the debenture interest figure, find out what we should have paid and make an adjustment to our debenture interest figure and the suspense figure. Calculate the debenture interest due. So I like keeping these together, it just makes it easier. So the debenture interest due, because we have paid some of it. So what will be left to pay? Adjust the suspense figure. So we'll find out what our suspense figure is. So our suspense here is salaries and general expenses. So we need to adjust that. And then the last part in the question says that the discount, so we need to adjust our debtors as well. So the first part then, we're going to find out how much is our debenture interest. So our debentures, let's have a look and see. So we've got 8% debentures at 400,000. So it's going to be 400,000 multiplied up by 8%. So 32,000, that's our interest that we need to pay for the year on our debentures. That goes into profit and loss. And we're going to take it away in our operating profit section. So the next thing we need to do is calculate, find out what we should have paid. So of this 32,000, if we go back to our trial balance and find where the debenture interest, we paid debenture interest for the first 6 months. So of that 32,000, we paid 6 months of it. So you're going to take the 32,000 and you're going to multiply by 6 divided by 12. So we should have paid 16,000. That's what we should have paid. Okay, what did we pay? We go back to the trial balance, have a look for the debenture interest. We paid 16,200. So we need to reduce that by 16,200. So on your trial balance, just put minus 200. So if you've minus 200, then our debit side is down 200. And remember, these two figures have to be the same. Okay, so now this side is down by 200. So what we need to do now is we need to go to our suspense. So if the debit side is down by 200, if we add 200 to our salaries and expenses, it's going to make them balance off again. So that's your first one. Okay, so that's looking at your debenture interest. So we should have paid 16,000. Okay, so if you look at our debenture interest due, so the amount that we need to pay is 32,000. How much did we pay? We paid 16. So what we've left to pay then is the difference between the two, and that's going to be 16. So that's going to be your due, and that's going to go into your balance sheet as a current liability. Okay, so the first two stages looking at your debenture interest. Number one, we calculate our debenture interest for the year. So we went back to the trial balance. We saw our debenture interest was 400,000. Is a rate of 8%. So 32,000 is how much you need to pay. That's going to go into your profit and loss, less your operating income. Of that 32,000, we paid 6 months. That was taken from the trial balance. So 32 multiplied by 612, so we should have paid 16. But how much did we pay? We paid 16,200. So we overpaid by 200. So what did we do? On the trial balance then, we took away 200 from the 16,200. That means our debit side is now less than our credit side. So we're going to add that on to our salaries and our general expenses. So that's going to be the third one, adjust our salaries. So our salaries, the amount is taken from the trial balance. So 231,010, 231,100, sorry. Then you got your interest, which you said was 200. And on the trial balance, I'm taking that away. Okay, so we're going to add that interest onto our salaries. And then one more adjustment to adjust the debtors figure. Why do you need to adjust the debtor figures? Because it's saying in the question that our debtors was only entered in the discount account, so 400 was only entered in the discount account, so that was an expense to us. So we need to reduce our debtors by 400. So we'll go minus 400 here. Remember, this is our debtors figure on the debit side. So that means now that our debit side is down 400. So we'll go to our suspense. I'm going to add 400 onto that to make sure our debits and credits equal. Okay, so 99,200 is your debtors. I said we're taking away our suspense 400 because we gave an extra 400 out in a discount. So our debtors figures then are 98,800. That's going to go into your balance sheet as a current asset. And then we need to adjust then our suspense figure. So we said we're going to plus 400. So if we add those two together, then that's going to be our new suspense figure that goes into your profit and loss. Because it's salaries, then it's going to go in as part of administration. And that's your adjustment done for your suspense. Okay, so anytime you get your suspense, there's four skills you're looking for. So you're going to calculate debenture interest, and you're going to calculate debenture interest due. That can always be also mortgage interest, but it's the same thing you're going to do. And then they're going to put something in, whether it's a liability or a asset. So debtors is an asset. A liability will be something like VAT, PRSI. They've come up previously, so it's just how you adjust it and sticking it on the trial balance like this, putting a minus beside the figure and how it's going to affect your suspense might make it a little bit easier whether we're going to plus or minus that. So we up here, as part of our debenture interest, we overpaid by 200, so we minus the 200 away from the 16,200. That means that our debit side is now lower than our credit side. So in our suspense then we're going to add that 200 on, so the debits and credits are the same. And then for the debtors then, it was entered in our discount allowed account, but not in our debtors account. So we need to reduce our debtors by 400 because they don't owe us, we give them a discount. So our debtors are going to go down by 400. That means your debit is now down 400, so debits and credits are not equal. So you're going to add on the 400 onto suspense to make the debits and credits equal. So once again, this is not plus and minus, it's debits and credits. Okay, so we said we need to take these figures out of suspense. How are we taking it out? We're adding them on. Why are we adding them on? Because how it fixed the debits and credits of the trial balance. So your 4 steps: calculate the debenture interest figure, calculate the debenture interest due, adjust the suspense figure, and then adjust your debtors figure or whatever figure is incorrect for the second part of that question. And that's how you answer the third adjustment, the suspense figure for Melba Ltd.